Every spring, the same argument starts up again. Who pays for the shared entrance? What's the split of the retaining wall? And every year, the outcome depends less on what's right and more on who shows up to the table and whether they actually like each other. If your association has been running a shared expense agreement arrangement on a handshake, this video is for you. Informal shared expense agreements work fine until the people who built them are gone. Board members turn over, institutional memory disappears, and the person sitting across from you has no idea what was agreed to 3 years ago, doesn't trust the history they're being handed, and has their own reading of the governing documents that may be completely different from yours. What feels like a negotiation problem is actually a documentation problem. When there's no written agreement, every conversation starts from scratch. Every disputed invoice reopens the same fundamental questions. What are we each responsible for? And what standard of maintenance are we talking about? And those questions can't be reliably answered by memory, goodwill, or whoever talks the loudest. The longer an informal arrangement runs without documentation, the more entrenched each side's version of the history becomes, and the harder it is to reach an agreement that both sides actually trust. Here's where these situations get genuinely complicated. It's not always a dispute about money. Sometimes it's a dispute about what the governing documents actually say. One community reads their declaration and believes the shared driveway is maintained jointly. The other community reads theirs and believes the boundary ends at the property line. Both boards are acting in good faith. Both are wrong about something. And without legal analysis of both governing documents, not just one, there's no neutral ground to stand on. This is the part boards consistently underestimate. You can't negotiate a shared expense agreement without first establishing what each party is actually obligated to do under their own documents. Skipping that step means you're not formalizing an agreement, you're just creating a more official version of the same argument. When the parties' interpretations genuinely conflict, that's not something a joint committee resolves on its own. That's a legal question. And trying to negotiate around it without counsel on both sides usually produces a document that doesn't hold up when it gets tested. Most boards approach this thinking it's a matter of writing down what they've always done. In practice, the process involves governing document review for both communities, alignment on shared property boundaries, negotiated cost-sharing percentages and maintenance standards, a dispute resolution mechanism with real teeth, mediation timelines, arbitration triggers, and in many cases, a formal vote and recordation against the land so the agreement binds future owners, not just the current boards. Each of those steps surfaces questions that weren't visible at the start, and when one party isn't engaging in good faith or simply has an entirely different understanding of what's real, the process requires a different approach entirely. There are paths forward even in those situations, but they look very different from a cooperative negotiation. If your community is dealing with a shared expense arrangement that's been running on goodwill and institutional memory, the question isn't whether to formalize it, it's how much longer you can afford not to. Getting this right requires more than a template agreement. It requires understanding what your documents actually obligate you to do before anyone sits down to negotiate. At ManageMax, we know that effective community management is built on transparency and systematic excellence. We provide full-service HOA and condominium management across Southeast Michigan, handling everything from accurate financial reporting to proactive maintenance. Our goal is to reduce the burden on your board while protecting your property values. If you're looking for a partner who values accountability as much as you do, visit us at managemaxproperties.com. Let's build a stronger community together.